Hey, what's up guys, Adam here, and in this video we're going to be talking about the importance of having a portfolio. So stay tuned, let's get right into it. So in my last video, which I'll place in the info card above or in the description down below, we talked about the top potential problems you can run into when using a freelancing site. And towards the end of the video, I talked about the importance of having a portfolio outside of the freelancing account that you are using. So in this video now, we're going to be carrying on from that and we're going to be talking about why it's important that you have a portfolio. Now, of course, there may be exceptions to this rule. You may be a back-end web developer or you may be someone who works on machine learning, but even still, you're working towards a visual product. So a client or an employer would still want to see the visual outcomes of the work that you put in towards the project. So even though you may be writing back-end scripts, it might not be very, visual as like, say, a photographer or a videographer or a front-end web developer, but even still, as I said before, you're contributing to a visual project. So a client or an employer will still want to see the visual representation of your work. So speaking from personal experience now, I'm a full-time multimedia developer. I've had a lot of interviews in my time. I do the freelancing as a side hustle. And what I've always come to realize, that when you go to a lot of interviews, there's been times where the employer cares a lot more about your portfolio than they do about the CV. The CV and the resume is good for highlighting the key steps of your education to employment, your work history, the grades you've achieved, but it doesn't really show how you've been able to apply those skills into the real world. And having the portfolio there is a good way to showcase how you've been able to apply those taught skills into practical work. So how do we go about creating a portfolio of work? Well, of course, we need to actually develop a body of content to produce our portfolio. Now, I'm going to say something that's probably not going to be very popular with a lot of people, and that is that sometimes we are required to do free work. Now, I know a lot of people aren't really joyed or thrilled by having to do free work, but like I mentioned in my last video regarding the top 5 problems with freelancing sites, clients are going to be less likely to look at you as a potential freelancer or as an employer, look at you as an employee without a body of work to showcase that you can actually do the skills that they're looking for. So my first go-to when it comes to getting this free work is to work with people within your friend circle or with people that you already know. Now, if some of these people are requiring to start their own business, there's a lot of elements that actually go into starting a business. For example, they may require a website, they may require a logo, promotional videos, social media marketing. And if you're particularly skilled in one of these areas, it's a good way to get your foot in the door. And then the outcome is that when they go ahead and post the work that you've created for them, then they can actually tag you or credit you in that work. And if they've got a large following, that's a lot of eyeballs on your work for free. You're getting free marketing material there. And some of those potential people may actually reach out to you, asking them to do this for them or asking you to do that for them. So it's a good way to get your foot in the door in that regard. So if there's nobody in your friend circle that actually requires creative work, then my next step would be to go and network with other creative people, maybe through Instagram or through Facebook groups. And for example, they may be a graphic designer and you may be a web developer. You can actually work with them and maybe create a website for them. Or they may be a videographer and they may be looking for a logo. If you're a graphic designer, you can work with them to create that logo. So there's many different ways you can get into it. And again, they can credit your work. And if they've got a large following, again, it's more eyeballs on your content. So once you start to grow a portfolio of work or body of work, it's from that point then you can actually start then charging clients. So if you've been working for a client for a while for free, then you can maybe start to step it up and say, I can create you this, this, and this. If you start to pay me an income, I actually need to support what I'm doing now. Or if you get other clients coming in now, you can start charging them and say, look, here's my portfolio. You can take a look at the type of work that I'm able to do. And if you want this type of work done for you, then here's the payment for that style of work. So that from once you have a portfolio, you can start then demanding more work. You can start then controlling the prices that you charge for your work that you're doing. So once you actually have a body of work that you're ready to share to maybe other clients or an employer, then the best way to do it initially, if you have an absolute zero budget, is to get it on social media. Now, my first point of call in social media would be Instagram. Instagram is a great place for creative. As mentioned before, it's a great place for networking. If you've got any visual content, whether it be video, logo design, even website design as well, you can showcase those elements on an Instagram page, and it's a great way to showcase your work visually. So my next point of call for social media will be to create a Facebook page, so that you don't want to create or add work onto your existing private page, but create an individual dedicated portfolio Facebook page to showcase any links to any work or to showcase your videos or imagery or graphic design elements. Now, I know I've mentioned social media as a way to showcase your portfolio, but above all, at some point, you're going to want to have a website. A website is the most professional way to showcase a portfolio. There's no two ways about it. When a client or an employer sees a website, a body of work on a website, they're more inclined to take you as a potential employee or as a potential freelance hire. There's just something about having all of your work centralized on a website that just adds to the professionalism of your work. Now, I know what you're thinking, especially some of you, you're probably thinking, well, I'm not really good at web development. I'm not really good at programming. I don't really know much about scripting. Gone are the days where you have to go ahead and write a website from scratch using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, whatever. Gone are those days, and there's so many different web builds online that you can use. You've probably heard some of them from YouTube advertisements. A lot of big name YouTubers use a lot of these. For example, Wix and Squarespace are two big players when it comes to the online website community. So if you're someone who wants a no-frills website, they don't want to have any hassle, any trouble, they just want to simply upload their content, add in some detail, and have the website ready to go from the jump, then investing in Wix or Squarespace is probably the best way to go for you. There's a ton of videos, there's a ton of tutorials to get started, so there's really no excuse as to why you can't start forming a website using either of those two builds or any other builds that are out there that are of that same standard. Now, if you have a slightly higher budget or you're more technically inclined, you could potentially look at you doing a WordPress development site, or if you're maybe you're a web developer yourself, then you'd probably be best actually creating your own website, a full stack site, and showcasing your skills and work on there. Now, I know I've done a fair amount of content at you all in one go, but it's really important that you understand the importance of having a portfolio and how it can really influence the chances of you being hired or not hired for a job. Now, I would say this though, you wouldn't want to just throw any old content on the portfolio and just, create something in 5 minutes and throw it on. You really want to showcase the best work that you've created and have that. I would rather you have a portfolio of 5 good items than 20 just bad items on there, because it'll bring down the whole quality of your professionalism as well as your overall portfolio. Anyway guys, that's been the video. I hope you found it useful. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up down below for the YouTube algorithm as well. Make sure you do it for the algorithm, please do. And also, if you have any further questions, be sure to leave them down in the comment section down below as well. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to make sure you are notified when we upload videos here on this channel. Anyway guys, it's been Adam here. Thank you for watching, stay safe, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.